toilets have been exploding just like grenades. This is why by Brew channel. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's watch it.
Enjoying a rare moment of peace during a quiet morning. Sunlight filters softly through the frosted window as the only sounds accompanying your thoughts are the distant chirping of birds. Suddenly, the tranquil morning shatters as a loud explosion erupts through the stillness. The floor shakes beneath you as the thunderous blast rips through your body. Porcelain shrapnel rains down onto you as you black out on the floor. When you wake up, you find yourself covered in serious burns. The toilet you were sitting on, completely destroyed. What just happened? September 21st, 2022. Emergency services were called to an apartment in China after an explosion rocked the building. Firefighters arrived on scene to find a young man sprawled out on the floor of a bathroom, covered in serious burns. Pieces of porcelain littered the room, and there was exposed plumbing where it looked like a toilet should have been. The toilet had exploded. But why? Has something like this ever happened before? And how likely is it for a major toilet malfunction to make your next move?
Well, on the schools that I studied before, it happened a lot, but it wasn't probably in the way that we're gonna see on this video. Actually, the students use it to throw some kind of small bombs inside the toilets on purpose to explode them, you know? Yeah, this type of stuff actually happened. And yeah, a lot of schools that I studied, and yeah, that's a very common thing here. Because people here doesn't respect literally anything, and this is so stupid, and like destroying other public schools like that. And yeah, that's it for no reason, just because they thought that it was fun to exploit toilets. You know, such a idiot stuff.
Movement, your last.
Don't you think it would be a good idea to refrain from ingesting caffeine until the answer to this question is determined?
What do you mean?
You know what caffeine does to the human bowels.
Oh, right.
What does caffeine What caffeine does to human bowels? I actually don't know. Please let me know in the comments. I would like that. I would like to know that. I mean, I don't drink coffee. I don't like coffee, but you guys know I ingest a lot of energy drink. Now I'm in the abstinence of it because of the corticoids I'm taking in. I'm avoiding anything that can make my blood pressure rises, you know, because also I'm avoid all kinds of sodium, so I stopped taking any energy drinks since I started taking the corticoids to not have problem. And yeah, even so I'm having a lot of problems, even trying to have a very good diet and stuff like that. It's be very difficult. Oh yeah, I'm losing the focus. Let's get back.
August 5th, 2019, Mary Lou Ward was sleeping soundly in bed with her husband in the early hours of the morning, when suddenly, a deafening explosion sound accompanied by the piercing noise of shattering glass woke her up. Stunned by the scary blast, they went to explore what happened, and found their bathroom like a war zone.
Feels like I have literally a nag inside my throat, you know, like stuck in there. It's very difficult to talk, I'm sorry.
Their toilet was shattered into pieces, crumbled on the floor with shards of porcelain and debris everywhere. The tank had detached from the wall from the impact of the blast. It seemed like the damage was extensive and had affected the piping. Even parts of the window had blasted out in their bathroom. After the rude awakening, the couple quickly called a plumbing service to find out why their toilet exploded and assess the damage. It took experienced plumber Jordan Hagedorn 3 hours to figure out what actually happened, since neither him nor his father, who was a plumber before him for 40 years, had ever come across an issue like this. Checking how the piping was laid out, Jordan came to the conclusion that the septic tank had been struck by lightning, igniting methane gas in the sewer pipes, causing an explosion. They found that the septic tank was buried so shallow into the ground that the lid was only an inch under the surface. The lid blew off in the explosion, and the sanitary pipe was entirely gone from the damage. Of course, the toilet that shattered was a write-off, but the explosion was so bad that the pieces of porcelain were sent airborne like missiles, sending the shards in all directions, penetrating the walls. He posted about the scary incident on Facebook as a PSA, writing, "No more pooping while it's storming outside."
Oh my God.
Thankfully, no
Oh
one
my
was injured,
God.
although the homeowners were scarred for life. Mary Lou said she was thankful she wasn't using the toilet at the time. "Sure glad I wasn't in there. I'm not taking any showers and not going to the bathroom, not when it's thunderstorming, and down here, that's a lot." But surely, what are the chances? After all, lightning never strikes in the same place twice.
Incorrect statement detected. A location has the same probability of being struck by lightning whether or not it has previously been struck by lightning.
Yes,
Yeah,
Howard,
that's
I know,
true,
it's
that's
a figure
true.
of speech. Besides, this isn't the only time something like this has happened. May 5th, 2022, a toilet in an apartment complex in Okmulgee, Oklahoma suffered the same fate when the porcelain throne shattered into pieces. The culprit of the explosion? Lightning, again. Firefighters responded to an unusual call overnight after a series of lightning strikes from a powerful thunderstorm zapped through the ceiling of the complex, traveling through the vents and making a beeline straight for the toilet. The resulting photos of the damage is something you wouldn't believe unless you saw it with your own eyes. A
Wow,
toilet bowl
that's ugly.
completely evaporated. Thankfully, nobody was injured in the freak incident because that specific apartment was vacant and set to have new tenants moving in the following morning. It's safe to say they probably decided against moving in.
I never heard of. Oh my God, Brew always bring to us a lot of stuff that we cannot even imagine that can possibly happen. I mean, oh my God, for you to literally to die is just the only condition you need is for being alive. You know, literally. I could literally be talking like right now here, and in 1 second later, I just gone like. Oh my God. This is the feeling that we have when we watch his channel most of the times when we watch his videos. But I find this very fun. He always do videos. I like his content very much.
It's probably a good reminder to say now that during a thunderstorm, it's best to avoid any form of plumbing, since lightning can travel through the plumbing system. The CDC actually recommends that it is best to avoid all water during a thunderstorm. Do not shower, bathe, wash dishes, or wash your hands. The risk of lightning traveling through plumbing might be less with plastic pipes than with metal pipes. However, it is best to avoid any contact with plumbing and running water during a lightning storm to reduce your risk of being struck. Don't worry, Bean. Your tank is an isolated system and isn't connected to any plumbing, so you should be fine. And while these two incidents fortunately left the people involved unscathed, the same can't be said for the next case. In 2016, Gary Gibson began hearing strange noises coming from his bathroom, the gurgling of the John running on its own, the whooshing sound of a waterfall as it flushed. That's when it hit him. The flushing system. Gary's toilet had a FlushMate 3 pressure assist flushing system, a product sold by Sloan Valve Company. In essence, the device was installed to remove the need to double flush and prevent clogging. Not wasting time, Gary scoured the internet to find a solution. He was faced with photos and articles that could only be described as war-zone-destroyed toilets hanging on by a pipe, shrapnel-like pieces of porcelain littering the floor, holes punctured through the walls. That's when he came across a video from 2012. David Tuckey, a family man, described hearing a violent roar that shook him to the core. In a panic, he rushed to the source, the bathroom, knowing his young son had just been in there. Had his son caused a clog? But that wasn't the noise of a backed-up toilet. What he faced was much worse than he could have imagined. The top of the toilet had blown completely off, shattering porcelain shards
Oh my
everywhere,
God.
denting the walls, breaking a humidifier to pieces, and the flusher was torn in half. He'd never seen anything like it before. All that ran through David's mind was the horrifying thought of what would have happened if his son had not left right in time. Thankfully, David's son was all right.
The thing also is like this traumatized not the person itself that was a victim, but the whole family, like for life. You know, you always will fear getting into the toilet again, you know? Oh my god, like, can you imagine? This is so traumatizing. There's no way it wouldn't be. Oh my god. Like I'm getting traumatized of my cats now because my eye problem.
But others weren't as lucky. As he continued scrolling, Gary was face to face with even more grim images and articles, jagged scars, crimson streaks, people hoisted on stretchers, and lifelong stitches, enough to make someone fear using the toilet ever again. Gary had a feeling of dread in the pit of his stomach. What if it had been him? The cases included 14 severe impact injuries and over 304 instances of property damage. A report in 2011 even mentioned that an explosion of porcelain had caused deep back gashes that required dozens of stitches. Thankfully, the injured person was young and healthy, with a better chance at recovering. Needless to say, there was a recall. Once it was in effect, customers were sent a repair kit. While it isn't exactly difficult to install, some people might have struggled and needed to hire help. This only frustrated people further as they weren't reimbursed for time or inconvenience. A nationwide class action lawsuit was filed in August 2012, leading to a settlement of a whopping $18 million. So, what was specifically causing the toilets to explode? The problem was that the pressurized tank FlushMate implemented had two plastic pieces that would separate if exposed to too much water pressure, and the separation more often than not caused an explosion. That's why the tank was split in half in this video.
So it was like it was not one entire piece. It was divided in two, like if it was sold or something like that. Soldered. I don't even know if this is the word in English. Like you guys may think like, no, it's the pass of the cell. No, oh my god, like, what is the word that I'm looking for? Like, they were put together, these two pieces were put together when it would be safer if were just one entire piece of. I don't know if actually if wasn't one entire piece, it also could have happened the same, maybe with enough pressure. But maybe it if weren't pressure enough, it maybe wouldn't be burst like that. I don't know.
If you thought that was bad, the company was well aware of this defect. Reports of the faulty product began as early as 2000.
Oh my god!
Instead of fixing their product or giving...
Now it's a problem. They were aware of that already, and they didn't fix it. They didn't like... Why you do such a thing? You are like... Oh my god. If you it's like... I would say something very... Oh my god, something very... I would repent what I'm saying. Okay. I better not say that. So yeah, but you're like waiting for some like very stupid to happen with your company like anytime soon. I would say the same thing, but in a very like vulgar way. Yeah, so better not. But yeah, let's continue.
Current customers a heads up, they decided not to disclose any possible risks.
What do you expect when the prime directive of your capitalist society is to maximize profits? And you humans call us machine soulless.
Well, yeah, you'd think FlushMate would have perfected the art of double flush toilets after this incident, but no. Only 4 years later, in 2018, more toilets began exploding after 23 injuries, 1 surgery, and property damage totaling around $710,000. 1.5 million units had to be recalled. But going back to our original case of the man in China, there hadn't been any reports of thunderstorms in the Langfang area that day, nor did his toilet have any kind of needlessly fancy high-pressure flushing mechanism. Turns out, it's all because...
Well, after watching this entire video, we know that thunderstorm might not. Probably there was only one reason for a toilet to explode. Actually, for what I know now, actually toilets can explode for literally like almost everything. What a crap situation.
As he lit up a cigarette. Firefighting officials found an excessive amount of methane on the scene even after the explosion had passed for some time. This highly flammable gas is usually contained in your household waste by a septic tank if the building isn't directly connected to the city sewers. The tank holds waste such as feces, urine, grease, oils, and fats before it gets pumped out regularly. Now, pair that highly flammable gas with a spark like a lightning strike or a lighter's ignition, well, boom! This is why it's extreme.
Yeah, this is the most probable, like, this is, I think it's what most people would think in a given situation, right? Oh my god, like, wow. But yeah, it's still, knowing that, like, we know the possibility actually exists, I think actually more people than we think knows this, but that this possibility can arise, but I mean, oh my god, like no one expecting any way possible that this is gonna happen.
Extremely important to maintain toilets and sewage pipes regularly so that odors and sewer gases like methane don't leak. If you smell anything unusual near your toilet, it's best to call your plumber immediately to make sure it's rectified. So, how the heck do we prevent toilets from, spontaneously exploding, causing a tide of harm and destruction? The truth is that these cases of toilets exploding are quite rare, and the Flushmate cases were limited to those who had the flushing system installed. The average toilet in your household is probably not going to cause sudden chaos. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, I
Should
hope
these
so.
exploding toilets stop you from
Hopefully,
using
yeah.
them? Of
Thank
course
you,
not.
Brew.
These cases should serve as a PSA towards methane gas and sewage leaks. If you notice anything unusual, definitely call a plumber as soon as possible. And like Jordan said, no more pooping while it's storming outside. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go do something.
Warning! Incoming weather anomaly.
Crap.
Before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons, that support my work here on YouTube, and especially my 5-tail Fox Tier member, Zalost, and my 3-tail Fox Tier members, Heath Rowell, Fenny Sylvy, and YaBoiSheen, for the incredible support to my work. Thank you very, very much. You guys are amazing. Also, thanks to everyone who donated to me through Tron and to all of my YouTube members. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. Will you risk yourself now, bro? Huh? It's thunderstorming. We will try, huh? We will try release your bowels of suffering, huh?
If you enjoyed this video, consider letting the YouTube algorithm know it's worth recommending to other viewers by clicking the subscribe button. You'd be surprised to know how much of an impact your one sub has. Also, do you use your phone on the toilet? If so, you may want to watch this next video about how a man who became completely paralyzed forever, all because he brought his phone with him into the washroom.
What the fuck? I mean, he brought his phone to his washroom, so I only can imagine. The first thing I think everyone would imagine is that, like, he somehow ended like electrocuting himself with the charge of the microphone with the water on the bathroom somehow. I don't know. It's the first thing I think one would think about the situation, like, or somehow the phone exploded and damaged one specific part of his body, then make him paraplegic, paralyzed. I have no idea. Oh my god, like, well, I'm getting, I'm living this video like fearing my own bathroom, Jokes aside, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check my links below, Patreon, Discord server, and Tron. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.